Come on, guys, sit down. Sit down.
Oh, don't worry,
Don't rush
I'm
me.
coming.
Alright. Check this out.
Stunning
now.
craft. Pretty good.
Picked it up off a dead body just yesterday.
Very nice. Great texture.
That's ashwood, steel blade. Pretty good, ain't it?
That's great, 2-4. But you ain't seen nothing yet. Boom.
Look at the finish on that thing.
Oak handle with freshly sharpened steel blade. I even shined and sharpened it for this occasion.
It's incredible, Tristan. Truly.
Why does Quacktree prefer Tristan's melee to mine?
Yo, you doing okay there, 2-4?
Impressive. Very nice. Let's see Nexus's melee. It's alright. The spade is there. You can use it. You definitely won't be hindering your team or anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad. And honestly, I like it a lot. I'd even go as far as to say it's one of the most interesting and unique weapons in the game. But, when it comes to raw power, it could be better. You know? Oh, what's that? You need to know what the weapon actually does first before you can form an actual opinion instead of parroting the talking points of a YouTuber who's only doing it for the money. The spade is an interesting weapon. It's a sapper-specific unlock that costs 600 francs. Not to be confused with the Vardaha shovel. All that thing costs is your sanity. It has a base damage of 35 with a really low headshot multiplier of 1.4. That's less than 50 damage per headshot, and when compared to the sapper's other melees, this thing looks exceptionally, almost laughably weak. But don't worry, it's not all bad. The spade's downswing has the fastest swing rate of the three weapons, along with the most range, although it still has slow side swings. However, the real selling point of this weapon is the entrenching mechanic. Pressing F on your or a teammate's barricade whilst having the spade equipped will entrench it, covering it in dirt and giving it 40 more HP. It will also have a 35% resistance to shamblers and a 25% resistance to runners, along with a resistance to bomber explosions. This resistance to explosions can allow some of your barricades to survive a bomber, though it only works if the bomber isn't directly on top of it. If the barricade gets too heavily damaged, it will lose its entrenched buff, forcing you to fix it up before being able to re-entrench it. You also can entrench on wooden floors, which I'm not really sure how I feel about. Only sometimes though. It's weird. I don't know. Zombies who are attacking your barricades and stakes can also be stunned using the downswing, and yes, this includes zappers. It also pushes the zombies back, though it's worth noting that the stun only lasts around half as long as a normal shove. This feature replaces the traditional shove of the axe or pickaxe, and it's alright for the most part. Like, it's definitely satisfying, but I'd hesitate to call it better than the stock standard shove. The spade also has another very niche upside in that headshots with the upswing will stun zombies. Now, this stun does last just as long as the axes, though it's so slow and inconsistent that I'd honestly just forget it exists. It's fun to parry zappers with it though, so at least it has that. And hey, this isn't in the game yet, but I thought I'd mention it. The spade will be receiving a buff in the next major update in the form of a resistance to cuirassier charges, which will no doubt be incredible, as right now cuirassiers can be a bit inconsistent. Lastly, you can dig up snow and the Sleepy Hollow graves, sort of like how the pickaxe can break down the brick wall in the catacombs. Well, that's it for the stats. On to If I had to describe the spade in 2 words, they'd be force multiplier. Basically, the more sappers you have on your team, the more effective it'll be. Being able to entrench other sappers' barricades is incredibly powerful, as it pretty much costs nothing. Well, aside from your time, but like, you're playing sapper, so that should be obvious. Remember, entrenched barricades not only have more health, but a resistance to shambler, runner, and barrel attacks. The runner resistance is there, I guess. Like, it isn't useless, but they're dead in a single hit anyway, so it isn't that big of an upside unless you count virals, but those guys just suck in general. Now, the shambler resistance, that is where it's at. Coupled with the extra 40 health, your barricades are surviving 32% longer on average. And because a good axe or pickaxe player can already hold down a barricade just fine under normal circumstances, this might as well make them damn near... yeah. And hey, that's not to say you can't hold down a barricade perfectly fine on your own. I mean, man, that downswing stun is pretty damn good, and it saved me and my teammates' barricades countless times. Sure, it doesn't stun for as long as the normal shove, but considering its other upsides and the fact that it damages the zombies you hit, I'd say it's a fair trade-off. What I will say is that if you happen to see one of your team's sappers already running the Spade, don't bother running it yourself, as it's pretty much pointless. You should also consider what map you're playing on before making the decision to equip it, as certain maps, namely Cobb and LaHaye, have holdout and camping spots respectively with wooden floors, making the axe or pickaxe a lot more useful than the Spade on those maps. Now personally, my favorite aspect of the Spade is the entrenched bomber resistance. Sure, direct explosions are still devastating, but hey, at least you'll have a mangled set of logs to cry on afterwards. I tend to place stakes in front of my barricades to counter this issue. Not only are they great for just dealing damage in general, but because bombers instantly explode upon contact, this will usually stop your barricades from immediately being destroyed. The general increase in survivability for your buildings while entrenched makes it incredibly useful with grenades, as it gives you more time to wait for shamblers to bunch up, leading to some pretty satisfying multi-kills. Or you could go ultimate schizo with the tar bottle and keep bombers from reaching your barricades whatsoever. Until you run out of bottles, of course, but let's just ignore that. Or you can choose the evil third option of holy fuck. Yes, the siege armor is definitely an item that exists, and yes, you can use it if you want to. Though it's more so just a stupid gimmick that overall hinders the sapper's ability to hold ground and leaves you more susceptible to zombies, especially runners. If only we could offset that in some way. Using the Spade this way is stupid, full stop. But if I'm being honest, it kind of works? Like, I'm not going to say the strategy is particularly effective. Hell no, I'm not that desperate. So I would be lying if I said this loadout wasn't fun to a degree. Think of it as a sort of budget juggernaut that moves slower, does less damage, has a slower swing rate, and makes you look like a dipshit. Okay, it's not all bad. You do take significantly less damage with the siege armor than you would with the cuirass, meaning you can be a whole lot more reckless with your gameplay, especially around zappers and bombers. You can also place down caltrops to ensure zombies will never catch up to you. Talk about bringing them down to your level, man.
Hey, wouldn't you fare a lot better using the pickaxe or axe instead of the—
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Just remember, the Spade is not a combat weapon. Sure, it does pretty decent damage with an alright swing rate and great range, but as soon as you encounter a zapper or cuirassier, it becomes a game of banging your head against the wall, begging your teammates to do something as you single-handedly try and multitask between your barricades, your teammates, yourself, and the charging cuirassier that just got rid of all your hard work. Though if you do want to combat cuirassiers effectively, never use the side swings, they're fucking useless. Instead, try and bait out their charge to get some easy headshots while they're stunned. You can also unironically run the siege armor to stop yourself from getting one-shotted, which genuinely isn't a bad strategy in my experience. But yeah, it's much better to just let your teammates handle them, as you're not all that equipped to fight them on your own. I mean, hey, at least with sappers you can parry their attacks and— oh right! Headshots stun and parry enemies, how could I forget? No one uses this feature. Absolutely nobody. And you want to know why? Because it requires you to use the slowest upswing that has the consistency of— yogurt? It would be much more balanced if every swing direction could stun on headshot. Hey, speaking of balancing, yeah, I bet you didn't see this coming now, did ya? I think the Spade is good. Hell, if they kept it the way it is now and never touched it again, I wouldn't be particularly upset. Though it could be better, and I think I have a few ideas. First of all, yeah, that. All swing directions should stun on headshot. I don't think that's a controversial take. Secondly, I know this may sound like a bit much to ask for after that first buff, but the headshot multiplier should at the very least be ×2. I understand the Spade isn't meant to deal very high damage, but 49 damage on headshot is just criminal. Alternatively, you could bump the base damage up to 40 and keep the headshot multiplier as is. Regardless, both of these changes would be a significant upside, though I don't think it'd be overpowered by any means. Note: this next suggestion is experimental and is pretty much just a shower thought. Hey, remember when the pickaxe got changed to have that one charge swing that kinda sucked and was removed like a week or so after it was implemented? You probably don't, but I do. Okay, hear me out on this one. What if the Spade's side swings had a toggleable charge akin to the old pickaxe that not only granted you more penetration, but also stunned enemies like the shove? It would take around 2 seconds to fully charge, along with dealing decreased damage to compensate for its high penetration, say 20. You'd also be slowed down during the windup. Not only would this be a cool way to bring back an interesting mechanic, but it would also give Spade users a way to stun enemies on the go, or when they're backed into a corner. Shut up! Plus— okay, I just think it'd be cool, right? What more do you want from me? Ahem. I also think you should be able to entrench on wooden floors. Yeah, it's kind of bullshit. I don't like it. Now, I don't expect all of these changes to be considered, especially that last one. However, I am hoping that at least one of these ideas gets implemented, as I think it would make using the Spade a lot more fun and balanced overall. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Look, it's been like 2 months since I've done a video, man. I'm not good at this. Overall, even if you don't particularly like the Spade, you can't deny that it's a very unique unlock. An unlock that I believe to be pretty good. 7.5 out of 10, take it or leave it. While I do believe it could be better, it's still a very good weapon defensively, and even offensively if you count dealing with runners and that one mechanic that everybody forgets. And that's the end of the video. You know what I'm gonna say. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you'd be so kind, join my Discord to submit art, and this is me signing out. Goodbye.